Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays, and welcome to another episode of the Sitrep podcast channel, your forward operations space for all things military and historical wargaming. I am your host, Oriskany Jim, and today we are bringing you part one of our annual holiday special. What I'm talking about, of course, is our annual game of Christmas Carnage, where some army or other of miscellaneous, nefarious evildoers gets the bright idea to attack Santa at his North Pole workshop and Christmas village. Maybe they didn't get the gift they wanted last year, maybe they just hate Christmas, but whatever the reason, they have marshaled their forces for an all-out tabletop assault on Santa's Winter Wonderland. We've been running this game for damn near a decade now, since Christmas of 2014, when a 15mm force of 1939 Soviets apparently got lost on their way to Finland and instead attacked the North Pole. Fortunately, Santa was able to mobilize his North Pole Defense Force to fend off this onslaught. Now, the Soviets didn't take too kindly to this ass-whipping, so next year they came back with a more modern 1980s Team Yankee force, only to have their skulls kicked in again. Next came a Battletech force of Clan Ghostbear, followed by an enchanted swarm of dinosaurs and dragons. Then, minions of Cthulhu summoned their powers of Riley to animate a force of demented, demonic Christmas toys for an attack on the Christmas village. Then came a force of Spartan and ODST troopers from the Halo universe, and finally the Soviets were back, this time in 20mm, twice more, and twice more they were defeated. So each year we set up a silly little table of Santa's North Pole village, along with his army of elf and snowman infantry, reindeer and polar bear cavalry, heroes and commanders, and we run a light-hearted, fun participation game, which of course Santa always wins. Santa's army grows a little bit each year, and it's made up of repurposed decorations, ornaments, little tchotchkes, things like that. Now, in the early years, this Christmas Carnage game was always kind of a goof, but as the idea has sort of grown in popularity, each year it seems to get a little more involved. This year, the Christmas Carnage war game takes a quantum leap forward, as my girlfriend Jennifer and I are hosting it at Das Krieg House, home of the South Florida Miniature Gaming Club. This year we had 8 players in all, including 2 Jennifers, 2 Johns, Mark, myself, Tom, and Gene. Our attacking army once again was the high-tech sci-fi army of the Halo universe, this time heavily reinforced with heavy weapon support and even some vehicles. They're bringing over 60 figures to the table, bringing our total miniature count on the table to well over 120, and our table has doubled in size, from the normal 24 square feet up to 48 square feet. Myself, Jennifer, and Mark are playing the attacking Halo force. Everybody else has picked out who they want to play from Santa's North Pole Defense Force. Looks like a lot of people are getting put on the naughty list this year. Let's go to the footage and see what happens. Okay, so here is our table. I don't really know what scale you would call this. It's kind of all over the place. Most of the buildings are in 20mm, and we're technically at the North Pole, so any which way you look is south, if you want to get technical about it. But in all seriousness, we have some of Santa's polar bear heavy cavalry. We see the Bumble there by that little brick house. Definitely one of the big heroes of this ongoing series of games, the most powerful figure on the table. We see some elf light infantry there on the bottom, along with some reindeer light cavalry. And this is the side of the table from which the Halo forces will be approaching. They're not on the table yet because we haven't started the game yet. But this is the killing ground that our forces are going to have to cross. We're going to have to get over that creek, get over that bridge, and reach that objective, which is the light-up Christmas tree that you will see on the far side of the table. There it is right there at the top of your screen. So yeah, this is our imminent battlefield, and the true commander of the attacking Halo forces, our returning champion, Misha, the Russian battle bear. Justin, the woolly mammoth of On Tabletop fame, commands Santa's left with some reindeer light cavalry. Here's some polar bear heavy cavalry, some more reindeer light cavalry, and we see Santa himself there at that crossroads. Notice that Santa's figure is on the ground. He is not flying. They're trying to avoid Halo anti-aircraft rockets at the moment. We have Marine Corps toys for Tots Bear with his little honor guard of teddy bears there. Some snowman light infantry. Some more polar bear heavy cavalry. And finally, way in the distance there, you also see some reindeer light cavalry under command of John. He's pretty much holding the extreme right end of the table, along with those recon elves under Tom's command. So more or less, Santa's players are trying to defend what looks like the left-hand side of the table, and our Halo attackers will be coming in from the right. Speaking of Halo attackers, here is our assault force for this year's Christmas Carnage game. These are 2-inch Mega Bloks figures, so sort of an alternative brand to Legos. I guess 2 inches makes them approximately 1:32 in scale, or 45mm. I bought a bunch of these guys, I put them on little ad hoc bases. You see here where I finally bought some vehicles for them. We've got some Warthogs ready to go, and of course some heavy weapons support. Some communications, AI holograms you see there, they will definitely come into play. So yeah, they're all set and they're ready to go. Just please don't ask me what country these guys come from.
Fragile. It must be Italian.
Well, I think that says fragile, honey.
Oh, yeah.
But in all seriousness, we've got riflemen, submachine gunners, pistoliers, we've got support troops. They all have different dice codes. You'll see the dice codes are these little yellow tags attached there to their bases. Up front, we've got some red support troops that have no chill. Look at some of the weapons they're carrying. So yeah, these guys are ready to bring some serious hurt to the North Pole. Okay, Halo forces are now on the table, and this game is officially underway. We're going to start on the Halo left wing with some of Jennifer's red platoon. She's got 3 riflemen, they shoot D8s, and she is targeting some of these elite elf recon troops. These are Tom's elite light infantry. Both figures are rated D8s, so both sides roll a D8, and if Jen's attack D8 beats Tom's defense D8, a hit is registered. The game is that simple, guys. So 6 to 5, first blood, the first elf recon trooper is down. 3 to 5, okay, that is going to be a miss, and Jen's third rifleman. 7 to 6, that is a second elf reconnaissance trooper down. It's that simple, guys. Alright, now Jen's going to go ahead and activate one of her heavy weapons mounts here on the high ground. If we zoom in real carefully, we can barely target this polar bear there he is. Yeah, we're going to blow his friggin' head off from clear across the table. Alright, so Jean's polar bear rolled a 6 on defense. Jen managed to beat that with the 7. So yeah, that's going to be a polar bear killed as well. Now one of Jen's heavy weapons gunners here, which as you can see by that little yellow tag, rolls a D10. He's going to go ahead and try to engage some of those polar bears holding the creek line. You can see there at the top of your screen. So Jen rolls a D10, scores an 8. Jean's polar bear rolls an 8 in defense, an exact tie, and ties are always resolved in favor of the defender. They're considered a miss, so that bear got his ear scorched a little, but he's okay. So we're going to go ahead and finish up the rest of Halo's firing phase here, come back and see who's still standing. Things aren't going very well for my girlfriend Jennifer over here on the Halo left wing. All these figures she's pointing at, submachine gunners, riflemen, heavy weapons, everything has shot at this single polar bear. Yeah, that guy smiling at us right there in the center of your screen. And everything has missed, including several shots that missed only by ties. Okay, Jen's last shot on him was a 1. Definitely not going to hit anything with that. That little polar bear, man, he's pretty much invulnerable to Halo fire. Over here on the Halo right wing, meanwhile, Mark is having a little bit more success with long-range rifle fire and heavy weapons fire, and has been causing a great deal of damage and some hellacious casualties among John's light reindeer cavalry. So there's another 7 on a D8, so that's going to be another reindeer down. And now for some really bad news. Justin, the woolly mammoth, the colonel that commands this whole wing of Santa's forces, has taken a hit to Halo rifle fire. So he's got 2 hits. Unfortunately, Mark calls in his sniper and gives another hit to Justin. Justin is now down. Except Santa uses one of his 3 magic rerolls. 3 times a game, he gets to allow one of his units to reroll a critical roll. But even on the second roll, Justin still fails to beat Mark's sniper's attack roll. So, yeah, that's the end of Justin the Woolly Mammoth. Justin is confirmed down. We are now at the end of Halo Turn 1, and I'll be honest, things are not looking so hot for Santa's North Pole Defense Force. We finally knocked down that Iron Bear that just wouldn't die. My cannon missed, but one of my submachine gunners got lucky and managed to brain him out. So the Polar Bear Heavy Cavalry has taken some losses. We've also knocked down a couple of the Snowman Heavy Infantry. But the real problem for Santa is over here on his left, where again, Colonel Justin is down, as well as some of the Polar Bear Heavy Cavalry and the commander of this little wing of Polar Bear Heavy Cavalry. So, yeah, not looking so good, except now we're beginning Santa's turn. Santa is now moving his first forces, and looks like we're going to be leading off with some of John's Reindeer Light Cavalry here against Jen's Red Platoon. And John's cavalry is going to be supported by some of Tom's Elven Light Infantry. Okay, Santa's first counterattack is underway.
No! Go for it, Dad. As long as I got old Blue.
John's 5 reindeer there managed to score 3 hits and knock down those 3 submachine gunners. Now Tom's elite Elven Light Infantry are going to engage Jen's riflemen there on that high ground.
Oh no! It's all blue! Oh no! Seize it, boys! The gin is on!
Alright, so both sides roll d8s. Tom rolls a d8 in attack, Jen rolls a d8 in defense. So starts off with a 7-2. That's a hit. He is down. Then we go to a 6-7. That's going to be a miss. A 1-7. Alright, so Jen won that one as well. That's going to be another miss. Then a 4 to another 7. Wow, that's going to be another miss. 5 for defense. That's going to be yet another miss. Last roll, 5 to a 4. Okay, there we go. We got another one.
Here's another one! Oh, he's a Deadeye 80.
And that's going to wrap up this little firefight on the right wing, at least for now. Way over here on Santa's other wing, John is attacking pretty hard with the other half of his Reindeer Light Cavalry. He's basically doing the cavalry thing. He's attacking hard on both wings. So far, he scored 1 hit against Mark's Warthog vehicle there.
Dadgummit blowout!
And now Bumble, under command of Tom, is going to attack my Warthog that's about to cross that central bridge. Now, Bumble rolls a d20. My Warthog rolls a d12 in defense. So he's gonna probably beat me. The problem is he has to score 2 hits to knock out that vehicle. Bumble can divide his d20 attack into 2 d10s if he wants. So long story short, take your first shot. Tom has to decide how he wants to mount the attack against my Warthog. Polar Bears, Marine Corps Toys for Tots Honor Guard, and Santa himself are deploying over here to Santa's left to try and deal with some of Mark's Green Platoon. But at the moment, it looks like John really wants to score that second hit against that Warthog. Speaking of Halo Warthogs, doesn't look like mine's going to be getting much further.
What was that? What happened?
So when I was setting up the table, I brought the extra wide bridge that I was sure could actually carry the Warthogs, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. Bumble scored the first hit, and this Polar Bear commander here that Jen's pointing at scored the second hit. So again, these Halo Warthogs require 2 hits to eliminate, and they roll d12s in attack and defense. They're pretty powerful units, but what can I say? Santa's forces have rolled the dice and knocked it out. Meanwhile, my sniper is under fire here. You see where he's in woods and he's got 3 blue riflemen covering him. And I'm being fired at by Santa himself. I rolled a 4, Santa rolled a 3. Long story short, take your second shot. Santa, you need to lay off that eggnog, man, because you can't shoot for Alright, that's okay. Now the Marine Corps Honor Guard is going to go ahead and fire. Again, I add 1 to my defense dice because I am touching terrain. There are some very, very basic terrain rules in this. So I roll a 5 plus 1 equals 6. However, Jen rolled an 8 with Marine Corps Toys for Tots Bear. That eliminates my sniper. By the way, that is Marine Corps Toys for Tots Bear. That is the figure that outright won this game last year, and looks like he showed up again this year and is continuing to whip that ass. Okay, both sides have now completed their turn 1, and what can I say, with the combat system this simple, and with the play going this fast, both sides have already taken some pretty steep losses. Looks like John's doing the best out of the 3 Halo commanders with his attack on the right wing. He hasn't gained much ground, but he's done a lot of damage. Notice that Santa and the Marine Corps Honor Guard is having to deploy over here to the North Pole Defense Forces left wing to make up for the loss of Justin. That was a pretty heavy blow, along with most of the Polar Bear cavalry on that flank. Here, however, in the center, John G., you can see here, he still has a pretty good reserve. Most of his Snowman Heavy Infantry Brigade has yet to engage. They say a general is only as good as his reserves. And yeah, I got a heck of a bloody nose there trying to cross that bridge, but don't count me out just yet. A lot of my infantry is coming up to where it's going to be in pretty good charge range to reach that objective tree there in the center of the table. Over here on Santa's right wing, again, we've got Tom's Elven Infantry that's doing pretty well, and Bumble has redeployed where he's kind of back undercover. He helped blow up my Warthog, but he's now back where I can't really see him, and neither can Jen. And again, he's got that D20 attack and defense dice. He's a scary figure. Now, we did manage to put him down in last year's game. This year, he's worth 2 hits, so he's going to be even tougher to put away this time around. Starting Halo Turn 2, and we're going to begin with Mark over here on the Halo right wing. He's doing pretty well. He's got a light cannon and a heavy weapons trooper you see there, forming a base of fire with all those riflemen and submachine gunners. He's taken out most of the rest of John's light reindeer cavalry, and pretty much blown this wing clean off of Santa's army, which is why Santa himself, the Marine Corps Honor Guard, and some of that Polar Bear Heavy Cavalry is beginning to redeploy laterally out of the center and to this part of the battlefield to hopefully redress the situation. But as soon as they shift reserves out of their center, I am now hitting them in their center with my blue platoon. You'll notice all my troopers here have charged over what we are beginning to call Remagen Bridge. And yeah, notice that my forward element there is well within striking distance of the light up Christmas tree that is the objective of this game. So maybe on turn 3 we're going to take the objective. Halo is not out of it yet. We begin Santa's turn 2 with a dramatic moment where John throws in his very last light reindeer to take out that Warthog. That light reindeer only gets to roll a d6, but rolls a 6. Meanwhile, Mark with a d12 only rolls a 3. Long story short, take your third shot. That Warthog, well, let's just say that its state is...
Oh no, pulverized.
And yeah, wow, talk about an upset. A little d6 beating a d12. Suffice it to say, my man Mark is not happy.
Not a finger!
But there is our surprise hero of the day, the little reindeer who could. John takes a quick moment to pose for a victorious photo. Yeah, that's got to be the highlight of the game so far. Over here on the other side of the battlefield, John is again getting very, very aggressive with his remaining reindeer light cavalry. So again, the reindeer roll a d6 in attack dice. Jen's heavy weapons mount will roll a d10 in defense. Alright, John ain't beating anything with that one. We'll roll for the second reindeer, and yeah, he's not beating anything with that roll either. So lightning did not strike twice, and Jen's heavy weapons mount will stand for now. Over here in the church courtyard, this firefight continues between Tom's elite Elven Light Infantry Scouts and looks like a fire team of Jen's SMG Gunners. Now, these SMG Gunners only roll a d6 as opposed to the d8 that Tom was trying to beat before. So it's Tom's d8s, looks like he's got 6 d8s, versus Jen's 3 d6s. Yeah, it doesn't look like Jen's going to walk away from this little get-together. So Jen has lost 2 SMG troopers so far, and oh, look at that, one of them is actually going to survive. Santa is now airborne, which means everybody can see him, everybody can shoot at him. However, any Halo unit that wants to shoot at him has to take 1 off of its die class, so a d8 would have to roll a d6, unless he's carrying a rocket launcher specifically, like this guy here. then he gets to keep his normal attack dice. On the flip side, Santa can now see everything regardless of terrain, and he's used his magical lightning to engage this hologram communication AI and destroy it. So destroying these Halo communication AIs, what that does is it allows Santa and his forces to sort of hack into the Halo communication grid. In game terms, a +1 for all North Pole die rolls. Meanwhile, Bumble is going to take a sort of a side corner shot there, and he's going to try and knock out the other one. Even accounting for terrain, he's going to knock out this other Halo Communications AI, and now Halo Communications are hacked. The codes are broken.
Be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Ovaltine? Son of a bitch.
And all North Pole units will get a +2 on all die rolls for the rest of the game. So the Polar Bear Heavy Cavalry over here on Santa's right wing is not doing too well. They don't look too healthy. A lot of them are floating in that creek. And the survivors have rallied behind Bumble like a walking terrain feature. I guess they're saying, look, Bumble, you stay out in front, and when they run out of ammunition, we'll go ahead and win the battle.
Mind power, Swede, mind power.
But in all seriousness, Santa's guys are doing pretty well, because like we said before, they have now knocked out both of these hologram communication AIs. And again, they get a +1 to all die rolls for each one of those they knock out. They've now knocked out both of them. So, like we said, Santa is now going to get a +2 to all his rolls the rest of the game. Here's where Santa is not doing too well, in the center, where my blue platoon infantry is now really close to the light up tree objective. Some of that Polar Bear Heavy Cavalry has knocked down my guys in the front. However, John G's Snowman infantry further back can't engage the rest of my blue troopers because I'm too far back along the slope. In retrospect, maybe those polar bears should have shot my blue troopers in the back and allowed the snowmen to engage the guys in the front, but no worries. Meanwhile, I've got another fire team further back that's also in striking range of the tree, and I've got some of Jen's red platoon in fire support positions over here on my left. However, her position is threatened in turn by Colonel Bumble. So since these polar bears don't really have any good lines of sight against the reverse slope positions occupied by my blue platoon infantry, they're going to turn this way and start chewing on some of Mark's green platoon, which has taken heavy losses, but they still put up a pretty strong position. Meanwhile, we have the triumphant little reindeer, who everyone is now calling Bambo, sort of a combination of Bambi and Rambo, for taking out that warthog. Not really single-handedly, but he did get the killing blow. But Mark is vowing to knock him off of that tire, and he's got the figures to do it. And there's our situation at the end of turn 2. You can see my blue platoon, despite our losses, has crossed Remagen Bridge, and we're ready to mount an infantry rush against the objective Light Up Christmas Tree in the center of the table. Over on the right, Mark hasn't gained that much terrain, but he's got plenty of figures for a base of fire. He's still determined to knock that deer off of his wrecked warthog. Mark really doesn't like that deer. He is vowing to convert him, perhaps into a bag of jerky, maybe some venison meat for the fire after the battle. So please come back next week, because I promise you, when I mount this infantry charge against that Christmas tree objective, this game is gonna get bloody. Okay folks, that's where we're going to leave it for now. Please come back next week for the part 2 conclusion of this video, see how this battle finally shakes out. So far, the Halo forces have taken one hell of a kick in the teeth, especially in the center where my blue platoon has already lost its Warthog vehicle just short of that central bridge. We also have our surprise hero of the year, where Bambo, or sort of a cross between Bambi and Rambo, has wrecked Mark's other Warthog over there on the right wing. Perhaps most ominously at all, at least for the attacking Halo forces, we have lost both of our communication hubs, those little AI figures. So for the rest of the game, Santa's forces are going to be getting a +2 benefit on all their rolls. But some sharp-eyed viewers may notice that the entire bulk of my blue infantry platoon is now within striking distance of the tree. Not only that, but some of Jen's red platoon over there on the left are ready for fire support across that frozen creek. We're about to catch the Christmas tree objective in one hell of a close assault. So what I'm trying to say is this game isn't even close to over yet, guys. Please come back next week for the conclusion and see how this all shakes out. But that's where we're going to leave it for now, folks. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Please remember to hit that notification bell. Also, please consider joining the Sitrep Podcast Discord. There is an auto-accept invitation link to our Discord in the description of this video. Join our community, see what everybody's up to, and best of all, show us what's happening on your hobby table. But for now, this is Ariskany Jim with the Sitrep Podcast. We are rounds complete for another episode. Happy holidays to one and all, and as always, Tango Mike for watching.